Hello guys, and welcome back to another video on the Mr. Coller YouTube channel.
Today we'll be doing a tier list with all the major rides at Thorpe Park.
Let's launch into it! The first ride of our tier list is Nemesis Inferno.
This is a great B&M inverted coaster. It's one of our favourites at the park, however it's not the best. So what tier do you think we'll put it in?
I'd put it just below S, probably an A.
Yeah, it's got 4 inversions, it's fun, quite intense, it's a good ride, but we prefer some others at the park.
Yeah, and it's smooth for its age as well.
Yeah.
Intense in the back row, that's probably my favourite row.
And it's currently the only Nemesis operating in the UK, as Nemesis is having a retrack right now, so...
Yeah.
Next up is Rush. This is an S&S screaming swing ride.
It has some great airtime, although it doesn't last very long.
Yeah, it is a bit too short, however, the ride is good and you get some great views of the park.
Yeah, what tier do you think we'll put it?
I'm probably gonna put it in A, do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's one of our favourites at the park.
Next up on our tier list is the one and only Flying Fish, which is the park's Max-powered coaster.
We think this is the best ride at Thorpe Park and maybe even in the world, so it's definitely going in S, do you agree?
Yep, straight into S tier.
Okay, so Flying Fish is the smallest coaster at the park. It's great for families, but it's not worth doing unless it's walk-on or you're getting the cred.
D tier.
Next up is Quantum.
This is quite a fun family ride with some decent pops of airtime, although it doesn't do that much.
Yeah, so I think D, do you agree?
Now on to Colossus, which is the park's Intamin 10 inversion coaster.
It's a bit rough, but it's great to do once in a while. The inversions are really fun, and in fact when it opened, it had the most inversions in the world. So I'm gonna say it's probably A tier coaster, because it's not our favourite at the park. In fact, it's probably our least favourite of the big 5. Yeah.
I think it gets too much hate though. Some people say it's the worst coaster in the UK, which I don't understand.
The inversions are fun, especially the quad heartline roll. You get some great hang time on that. Next up is Rumba Rapids. This is Thorpe Park's Rapids ride. How do you find it?
Yeah, it's quite a fun, relaxing ride. Goes around, good views of stealth from the back of the park, and yeah, I enjoy it.
It's nothing special, there's a lot better ones in Europe, but it's still nice to do, especially because of the views you get of stealth. It's worth doing just to see stealth from that unique angle.
Yeah, I've done the rapids at Phantasialand and that's much crazier than this. This is quite mild, but still fun.
Yeah, I've done Piranha at F-Telling. That gets you soaked. This doesn't get you that wet. A few splashes here and there. But overall, it's a good ride, so where would you rank it?
Probably C tier seems fair.
Yeah, I'd say the same. It's nothing special, but it's definitely not a bad ride.
Next up is Vortex, which is the park's KNG Afterburner flat ride. What do you think of this?
It's one of Thorpe's best flat rides. In fact, I think we probably think it's second, just after Rush. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and put that in A tier. Next up is one of the newer rides here at Thorpe Park. It's Black Mirror Labyrinth. We don't find it the best. What do you think?
Yeah, this is a mirror maze. It starts off quite well. I like the opening scenes. Then you go into the mirror maze and it's a pretty generic mirror maze type of ride, but it's fun getting lost in there. Some good theming, but yeah, it could have been a bit better though.
Yeah, I agree. I think my favourite part is where they project your face onto the wall, because before you go in, they take a photo of you and they use that throughout the ride. It's got some really clever technology, however, I could have to agree with you, Dex, it could have been a lot better. So where do you think?
Yeah, probably C tier.
Yeah. Next up is the Swarm. This is a B&M wing coaster, and it used to be the only one in the UK, however now Mandrill Mayhem has opened, so it's the second, but it's definitely the best. How do you find it?
Yeah, this is actually my favourite ride at all of Thorpe Park. I love the theming. It's quite fun ride, good inversions. I love that inversion over the station, that's really fun.
Yeah, the Heartline roll. I think it's a really fun ride. It's not the best in my opinion. I think I prefer Saw, but it's still amazing, so we're going to put it ahead in S tier, definitely.
Yeah. I like that wing over drop as well. Really cool.
Depending on what side you're on, you either go over the track or below it, and it's a different experience wherever you sit, really.
Yeah.
It's quite intense, especially with the helix at the end. It's got a good few inversions as well, so it's a very fun ride.
Although it could have been a bit longer, that's my only problem with it.
Yeah, it is very smooth.
Some people don't like the vest restraints. For me, they're not too bad. So on to the next one, which is Depth Charge, and this was actually my first ever ride at the park. I did it in 2017 on a school trip.
It's the closest ride to the entrance, so it occasionally gets half an hour queues, but if it's walk on and you're with friends, it's fun to do.
Yeah.
Especially because you can race and the first one down wins. It's fun. I always win when I'm against you, but it is...
do you now?
Maybe it's all the extra weight with my big muscles, but... where should we rank it? I'm thinking C.
I'm thinking C as well.
Is it better than Black Mirror Labyrinth?
Yeah.
Ooh, Detonator's next. So, it's a fun ride. It's really good. The drop is amazing.
Yeah.
However, it's just one drop, but if it's a long queue, it's not worth doing.
It can get long queues because the line moves quite slowly, but it actually looks quite small off-ride, but it's a forceful drop. I enjoy it, yeah.
I definitely agree. It feels a lot higher when you're up there, and the drop is amazing. In fact, I think it's one of the only drop towers in the world where it actually forces you down instead of just using gravity. So it's a fun ride. It's really good. You do get some good airtime on it, and I think it's one of the best flat rides at the park, but I don't quite think it's A tier. Do you think B?
Yeah, probably B.
I'll pop it in B tier then. Ghost Train is next.
Yeah, I only did this as Darren Brown's Ghost Train, which it used to be before this year, and it was an off and on ride. Sometimes it was really good, but when the headsets weren't working, it was quite bad, but now they've removed the headsets and it's now just Ghost Train, which you did this year. What do you think of it?
I think it's much better than the original because I had so many bad experiences with the old one. The VR never worked for me. I don't think I had a single ride where it worked perfectly. So now they've scrapped the VR and now there's actors inside. It's a lot better and there's a few more scenes, so it's great. I'd recommend doing it, but it's definitely not as good as some people say. Some people think it's one of the best at the park. It's good. It gets long queues though, that's the thing. The throughput is not great, but it's fun.
Which tier are you going to put it?
I'm thinking B as well. B.
Next up on the list is King Pig's Wild Hog Dodgeland, which is actually my dad's favourite ride at the park. He likes it more than Swarm, but for me, it's not that thrilling. It's quite fun though with friends. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's fun to do, especially in a big group, because you can just dash into them. It's fun.
So what tier are we going to put it?
I think probably D.
Yeah, D is good.
So the next ride is Zodiac. It's a Huss Enterprise. There's a few of them out there, but it is fun to do once in a while. It's quite intense as well. How do you find it?
Yeah, it's cool how there's no seat belts, it's just gravity holding you in.
Yeah, it's very interesting, especially the fact that you get pushed back and you go round and around. So where are we putting it?
Maybe C tier?
Yeah, I'd say high C. It's definitely not a bad ride. Next up is Double Tea Party.
Yeah, this is a teacups ride, standard theme park ride. I did it a few years ago when it used to be known as Storm in a Teacup. Do you like it?
Yeah, I did it last year. It was my first time doing it. It's an alright ride, but it's just like any other teacups. Now it's double themed. We need to do it at some point.
Yeah, you can get some good spinning on there if you try.
Yeah, when you really go for it, it's quite intense. You can make it a very intense ride. So what tier do you think it is?
It's fun, but maybe F tier.
We've only done it once, so we'll need more rides in it in the future maybe. Especially now it's double themed.
Love a good game of double.
It is one of my favourite games. I'm fascinated by it.
I always win. We've got Mr. Monkey's Banana Ride, a classic.
Yeah, I've only done this a couple times. It's a small swinging ship, but it's themed to Mr. Monkey, who used to be a Thorpe Park ranger, so it's quite cool to see the old history of the park. How do you find the ride?
Yeah, it's more exciting when you're near the edges because it swings slightly higher, but yeah, I enjoy it.
It's just like any swinging ship, but it's a small one. It's good for families as well. So one of the rides, if you bring younger children, they can definitely do that. But I think definitely it's F tier.
Yeah.
F tier. It goes.
Another one in F. What a shame.
Up next is Walking Dead the Ride. This is Thorpe Park's indoor roller coaster. It used to be known as X.
Yeah, I actually did X in its final season. It was all disco themed to lights and music, and it was actually such a fun ride, great for families, but now it's very different.
Yeah, I can't think of a ride that's theme has changed so much. Now it's a horror coaster. Definitely not great for families. And apparently there's some scare actors occasionally in the queue, which I've never had. Have you ever had it?
Yeah, I've had one actor after the ride. It was good, but I wish there were like 5 actors. It would make it a lot more intense.
Yeah, or at Fright Nights at least have some more. It would definitely make it a better ride. But as for now, where do you think?
Probably B tier.
B, I think it's high B.
Yeah.
Better than Detonator. It's a good ride.
Now it's Stealth, which is the park's fastest coaster, at least until next year. What do you think of it?
It's a very fun ride. It launches 0 to 80 in under 2 seconds, which is absolutely insane. The top hat's great, you get a good view of the park. It's really fun. How do you find it?
Yeah, easily the best launch I've ever done. I love the views from the top hat, and the bunny hill actually gives some great airtime, so good ride.
It's got one of the fastest accelerations in the world. It's very forceful.
I remember doing it for the first time, thinking how fast it looked, and now I've done faster coasters since, but this is still one of the craziest I've done.
Yeah, I'd say it still feels the fastest just because of the acceleration. Every time I do it, I just get blown away by how fast it really is. It never gets old, that launch, so I think it's S.
Yeah, definitely.
Not as good as Swarm. Some people may disagree on that, but we think it's not quite as good as Swarm, just because it's only really a launch and a top hat. I mean, it's still a very fun ride, and it's a standout coaster for Thorpe Park. For now. Now it's time for my favourite coaster at Thorpe Park. It's Saw the Ride. I think it's great. People do think it's a bit rough at some points, but as long as you're preparing yourself for it and have your head forwards, I think it's great. What do you think?
Yeah, I do think occasionally it can be a bit uncomfortable, but if you just keep your head forwards, it helps, and I actually find the back row smoother, but yeah, good ride.
It's got an amazing drop, especially in the dark, and then it's got the beyond vertical drop of 100 degrees, which feels crazy. There's a really good airtime moment on it.
Yeah, I love the indoor section, the theming and everything. Just feels like you're trapped in some horror maze. It's so cool.
All the sound effects and theming around you, it really does immerse you well.
Don't forget Billy.
So where do you think we should rank it?
Yeah, definitely S2.
Yeah, it's on par with Swarm. I prefer it, Dex doesn't.
Now, next on our list is Storm Surge, which is another water ride. What do you think of it?
I've only done it once because every time we go it just seems to have such a long queue and it doesn't do much. It's just, we just go around on a big slide.
Yeah, I think it's not usually worth the queue. I mean, it's alright, but nothing special really.
I agree with you, so should we put it in F?
Yeah, probably.
Probably the best we've had of so
It's
far.
more thrilling than the other rides in F, but still doesn't. Not great.
Next we have Tidal Wave. This is one of my favourite ride experiences at the park. It's so much fun and you get absolutely drenched. How do you find it?
Yeah, it's perfect for the summer. We actually marathoned it about 5 times during Fright Nights, and that was freezing.
We've just come off 5 rides on Tidal Wave and we got absolutely drenched.
But it was good fun.
Yeah, I mean, once you're soaked, you might as well do it again.
Yeah.
And there's a great bridge where you can watch the views of this immense splash and you get soaked, even from off-ride. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I've never got that wet from any water ride before. It's crazy.
Each person gets the equivalent of 3 bathtubs filled with water poured on top of them, so you get soaked. But it's really good on a hot day.
Yeah, you can definitely feel it.
I think it's a A-tier ride. It's really good fun.
Yeah, A-tier is good. Now it's Samurai, which is a Mondale top scan. I've done one of these rides at Canada's Wonderland as well, and yeah, they're good flat rides.
Yeah, Samurai has a really long cycle, and it's quite intense, so after a while you get quite dizzy. It's really fun to do once in a while. I probably think it's tier B.
Yeah, B tier.
Great. Now time for the final ride. This is High Striker, and it's the only ride on this whole list that I have yet to ride.
Yeah, it used to be known as Lumber Jump. I did it when the park was really busy and this was just a 5-minute queue. It's a very small ride for families, has a couple of pops of airtime, but nothing too crazy.
I got in the queue for it once, but it was moving so slow, just because the capacity is so bad, it can only do 4 people at a time. But it's good for families, I suppose. So what tier?
Probably F tier.
Yeah.
So there we go, that's our final tier list for all of the main rides at Thorpe Park.
They have something for everyone. They have a few rides for families and younger children, but also have some of the best coasters in the country.
Yeah, and we're so excited for Exodus to open next year, because that definitely looks like it could be the best ride in the whole country.
We're going to hopefully visit Thorpe Park Fright Nights, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the vlog we film then.
Comment below your thoughts on this tier list and anything you'd change about it.
If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to like. Thanks for watching.
Hit that brake run.